We've had a lot of really long episodes recently, so I was looking forward to reviewing the Reloop FLUX Go, a simple 2-deck audio interface for Serato DJ Pro and other DVS software. But of course, things could never be quite that straightforward. On a basic level, the FLUX Go is not, in fact, very complicated. 3 years ago, Reloop released the FLUX, a 3-deck interface for Serato, which really answered my prayers, as we had, at that time, got to the point where there just weren't any such devices on the market. Mixers with built-in audio interfaces are more common than ever, but still, there are many DJs who use other kinds of mixers, rotaries, old-school battle mixers, or just analog mixers in general. And until the FLUX came along, if they wanted to use Serato DVS or digital vinyl with those mixers, they were out of luck. The FLUX has really solid metal construction and those aforementioned 3 stereo channels, so you can use it to record your sets in the software too. It's dripping with features like hardware pass-throughs, USB-C power delivery, and a 2-port USB hub. It's also quite large and pricey, with a street price of around $550 in the US or €365. I think that's great value for what you're getting, but it puts it out of reach of those who are maybe just curious about digital DJing or those who will only get occasional use from it. So now we have the FLUX Go. This is a much more affordable option at around $300 in the US or just €220. Like its bigger brother, it unlocks the full version of Serato DJ Pro and the DVS expansion. This makes it something of a bargain, as Serato DJ Pro is $250 on its own, and the DVS expansion can only really be purchased as part of Serato Suite, which costs $450. So by that metric, the FLUX Go is something of a steal. If you're new to Serato, it's maybe worth explaining the ecosystem quickly. The FLUX Go will unlock Serato DJ Pro and DVS when the FLUX Go is connected. This doesn't give you a license to use Serato with, say, mixers like the DJM A9 at venues, so you might still need to get the full suite at some point. And you aren't getting features unlocked like their better pitch and time stretching algorithm, which actually in 2026 is kind of absurd when I think about it. And Suite does not unlock all mixers. Serato is still only compatible with those on their supported list. But when the Go is hooked up, you do get the Serato DJ Pro software and DVS control unlocked, so you can use control vinyl or CDs to mix with. The build quality of the Go is nowhere near as high as on the original FLUX. This one is all plastic, but it's still plenty solid enough, and that helps it to be incredibly portable. Along with the size, it literally fits in the palm of your hand. Connectivity is simple but enough. There are 2 pairs of RCA sockets on each side, inputs and outputs for each of the 2 decks. There are individual dip switches to go between line and phono input levels on each one, and a ground point for turntables. There's even a headphone socket with a volume control, which replicates the Deck 1 output. That could be useful when connecting the FLUX to DAW software. The Go is USB bus powered via the USB-C port and is class compliant, so works without drivers on Mac, iOS, and I assume Android, plus there's an ASIO driver for Windows. You won't be able to power something like an iPad without also using a hub, but if you need that kind of functionality, you're better off looking at the regular FLUX. I said in the intro that this review wasn't as straightforward as planned. Why? Well, first of all, when I tried the Go in Serato, I thought it was broken. The sound was completely distorted. On doing some digging though, I discovered something interesting. The Go shares similar audio specs with the OG FLUX, with 24-bit up to 96 kHz processing. And in terms of the actual quality, things are pretty close. I think the Go offers very impressive sound for this kind of price. But the specs are different in some areas, and one is that the Go seems to have a much hotter output level. This means that where I usually have my Serato DJ Pro master output gain set to, around 3 o'clock, the Go is far too loud and it distorts. Even at 12 o'clock it's kind of on the edge. So I'd recommend setting that master gain at a little under 12, and then everything just sounds great consistently. I'd like to see Serato perhaps address that gain handling in a future update, as other software does not have that issue. On the subject of other software, Serato is the only platform which is locked down to specific interfaces in such a way, and so the Go should work with all other DVS capable software. And in my testing, it did. Rekordbox, Traktor and Algorithms DJ Pro all saw the hardware, with the Go being a really terrific option for a super portable, touch-only setup on an iPad or iPhone with DJ Pro. It also worked really well with Ableton Live, my DAW of choice. But this is where the fact that I do properly test all of the products I review came into play. You see, the Flux Go has a feature on board where software, if the developers choose, can switch it into a software through mode, allowing the original phono or line signal to bypass the box. This means you can switch between DVS and real vinyl as long as the Go is connected to your computer. It's not as convenient as the hardware pass-through switches on the original Flux, but still could be very handy to have. So, for example, in Serato, you enable software through mode in the settings, and that works as expected. But when I used the Go with Virtual DJ, I was only getting the pass-through signal, whatever I did. After some back and forth with Reloop, we discovered that Virtual DJ at the time of making this video hasn't correctly implemented that through switch, and it left it in that mode after the software was closed, so it broke the Go with other software until I disconnected and reconnected it or rebooted the computer. This is no big issue, it's an easy fix and Reloop have made Virtual DJ aware of it, and with the speed those guys work, it could well be fixed by the time you see this. But if it isn't yet, well, at least you know why. In conclusion, the Flux Go is a really great little device. Reloop truly made my year when they released the first Flux. I really feel it's so important that there is such a product, a Serato box, available on the market. And the Flux Go is just an even more portable, affordable version of that. There are still reasons to buy the original. The 3 channels, the USB hub and the power delivery amongst others. But if you just want to unlock DVS with Serato or any other DJ software, whether because you're dipping your toes into DVS for the first time or you just want a pocket-sized interface so you're ready for whatever mixers you might encounter at gigs, at this price, the Flux Go is an absolute bargain. In the comments, let me know what you make of the Flux Go, and if you picked up the first Flux, what did you think of it? For me, it's just a real problem solver, so I'm still in love with it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, sound off down below. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Beatsource Tech. If you liked it, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss any future videos. And hey, if you haven't already, you can try Beatsource for free and join DJcity for just $10. All the links are down in the description. I'll see you next time!